Hello one and all, and welcome back to more Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I am the Max Few Trades. Also, it's Trials and Tribulations. Gotta get the full title in there. In the last part, we solved the case. And then the case continued because somebody friggin' died. The person I was defending is now the prime suspect for the murder. It was too good to be true. There was always going to be a murder. There's never been a Phoenix Wright trial without a murder. It was foolish of me to even consider the notion that this wasn't going to end up the way it did. Regardless, what say ye, Maya? You know, I'm glad we found the urn and all, but poor Mr. Delight got arrested again, and I hit the button again. Well, supposedly Mr. Delight was in the CEO's office when the murder occurred. No way, Jose! I don't buy it. You can tell by her pouting face. But the one who proved that Mr. Delight was there was Mr. Nick himself, in case, I guess, somebody decided to pick up the game after somebody else played the previous part. It's very interesting that we're surmising all of this, at least from what I can understand. Looks like you did too good of a job this time, Nick. Oh, the humanity. Well, how about we start looking into the KB security murder? I think I'm going to head back to Kurain Village for a little while, if that's all right. You really shouldn't be sniffing around murder scenes anyway. It's weird that we do it. You're 9. Sure, but why? I'm gonna bring the sacred urn back and have some people take a look at it. Yeah, also the urn got fixed. No one has actually said anything about that, which is weird. Oh, that's a good idea. I think I'll go with. No! Mystic Maya, you should stay here. I want you two to spend some special quality time together. Yes, Pearl, we know. Pat, tiny child on head, pat. Pearl's so caught up in her fantasy, she forgot there's a murder to solve. The sacred urn was given, but do I still have it as evidence? I does not. I guess that means I'm carrying all of these things in my pants. I have an entire statue in my pants. Never gave that wallet back. I've got this brooch. All of this is my stuff. Now remember, no fighting. I'm making no promises. If a ladder shows up, there will be turmoil, is all I'm saying. She's gone. Okay, Nick, time to get going on this murder investigation. All right, well, first things first, let's talk about some stuff. So, what do we do now? Isn't it obvious? We should get out there and investigate the murder. Well, first, we need to find out exactly where KB Security is located. Hey, why don't we ask Miss Delight? She should know. And probably she isn't even evil, so it all works out. Besides, I want to ask her some stuff about motorcycles. Motorcycles? You're not thinking of getting one, are you? I'm not the same little Maya who used to be happy with her dinky little bike, Nicky boy. Why are you this way? Speaking of asking around, I've got a few questions of my own for Mr. Delight. Okay, well, let's make sure to go to the detention center, too. He wanted to get tried for theft, so he wouldn't get tried for murder, which at the very least means he knows about all this. It makes sense, what with the blackmail. Blackmail lead to murder. All right, well, that's some word fusion. You must be relieved we got the sacred urn back, eh? You bet. But there's something a little different about it. Mostly it's fixed and covered in paint. Paint that is not unlike the paint that was all over the basement of Lordly Taylor's basement. The basement paint. Don't question mark at me. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, take a look at this. It clearly says I am on the urn in the poster. But the urn we got back says Ami, like it always used to. Oh yeah, you're right. Plus, the vase has pink splotches on it now. Probably should have brought that up earlier, but I'm sure they weren't there before. Maya doesn't know, but 1 year ago when the urn was broken, the repairer accidentally turned Mystic Ami's name into I am. Because she's not very good, and she can't spell. It all comes together. And that repairer was one mechanically unskilled little Pearls. But still, I don't remember ever seeing pink splotches on it. Is it possible that the urn is a fake? I'm sure Pearls will find out about that once she gets back to Kurain Village. Yeah, I suppose. Now that I think about it, Maya hasn't been back to Kurain Village in a long time. What's up with that? It's the fact that literally all of your family members have either ran out on you, are dead, or in prison. So come on, is that why you don't want to go home? Because that's a really good reason. You're welcome on the couch. So I guess people still go to Kurain Village to do their training, right? Yep. If you want to become a spirit medium, you need to undergo severe training. So why haven't you been training lately, Maya? Well, lately I've been thinking of heading to a channeling dojo to do just that. A channeling dojo? Sounds pretty serious, whatever that is. If you're gonna train, you have to be serious. Otherwise, real tragedies can happen. Is that what happened last year still bothering you? I mean, it would bother most. Poor Maya. That murder in her village. It happened because the power of channeling was misused. For murder! When a medium uses the Kurain technique, she temporarily loses her own will. Not the greatest of ideas, honestly. So when an especially strong spirit is summoned, the spirit medium can get taken over and even forced to commit terrible crimes. So really, probably shouldn't be doing this. What's worse in those cases, the spirit medium has no memory of what happened. Bang! That murder. It wasn't your fault, Maya. You know that, don't you? Yeah, you were in a box. I suppose not, but I guess I'm still a bit shaken up, that's all. It sounds like being the master of Kurain is going to be a heavy responsibility. So done heavy. All right, so I suppose, well, let's go to Damask's hideout first, why don't we? It was the first suggested place to visit. Ah, Nicky boy, Maya. Mr. Light, it be ye. All I wanted to do was help my dear Ronnie. Yeah, but I guess it ended up hurting his case. Don't say that, Nick. She doesn't need your help beating herself up. Hey, Nicky boy, please. Please help Ronnie. He's not a killer, I swear. My Ronnie couldn't hurt a fly. Couldn't. Well, couldn't, if you will. I hit the button again. All right, I'll poke around and see what I can find out. Really? Are you serious? I'm so happy. I knew asking for your help was the right thing to do. I don't know what I can do to help anymore. I had no idea Mr. Light had such a vulnerable side. Dun dun dun, this music's ill-fitting. Dun dun dun, people are dead. That's all I'm saying. Listen carefully, Nicky boy. My Ronnie would never, ever kill someone or anyone. It's just not in him. I don't think he would either, Nick. Yeah, but you have to admit he's got a bit of a temper to him. It's not that hard to imagine him just snapping and screaming, "Please die!" He would never say that. And also, Nick, I actually called him Nick. Phoenix with the very rare, externally, not internally monologued burn. Anyway, Mr. Light, he might not be a killer, but he's still going around saying that he's a thief. I already told you, that's just a fantasy for him. Mr. Light, I hate to say it, but you're the one living in a fantasy world. What? How dare you say that to me, Nicky boy? I know everything about my Ronnie. We don't have any secrets between us. Ronnie isn't the thieving type. He's so honest that he wouldn't even sneak a nap. He's so honest that he wouldn't even steal a glance. A thief. The very idea. I guess I just don't get it. Get what? And I just can't understand how they can be so different and yet be such a happy couple. Yeah, they sure are different. Sometimes they say that opposites attract. Come on now, Nicky boy, it's not that mysterious, is it? Please don't bring up money again. It was love at first sight. For me, anyway. For you? Oh, that's gonna be a great thing to talk about. I hate these kinds of people more than anything. You mean ace detectives? No, I'm fine with ace detectives. Oh, so then you must mean thieves. No, they're all right too. I just hate thieves that pretend to be ace detectives. Integrity is what I'm asking for, people. There's nothing I hate more than cowardly men. By the way, why did you go to Detective Atney's office anyway? Well, as the trial went on, I started to get more and more anxious. And I went there to try to find out more about the real criminal. The real criminal? Yes, Atney. Maya, you were there. Yeah, obviously the real Master Mask is not my Ronnie, right? Yeah. And Detective Atney knew more about Master Mask than anyone else. They mentioned him on the Great People Around Town segment on TV. So then you went there to ask him some questions? That's right. I'll do whatever it takes to save my man. His secretary said the ace detective isn't in right now, but I forced my way past her and into his hideout. I wouldn't exactly call that office of his a hideout, but it is the operating room of, you know, his nefarious doings, so a hideout is technically not inaccurate. That bag was sitting right there on top of the table. opened that ding-dang thing all up, and boom shakalaka-laka-boom, there was a big old vase in there. Ain't that crazy? Oh yeah, we saw that bag yesterday too. There's nothing lower than someone who would try to pin a crime on someone else. What do you know about KB? Mr. Light, do you know anything about KB security? Don't be silly, of course I do. That's where my Ronnie works. Just she thinks he still works there, huh? And yet, according to what we heard today... Come on, don't tell me you didn't know. Ron DeLight was once an employee of KB Security. He was a professional security guard, which I didn't even know you could be a professional of. Ron quit. He doesn't work there anymore. Looks like Mr. Light doesn't know. KB Security is only about 20 minutes away by motorcycle, that is. Larry told me it takes 30 minutes by car. Well, I have to admit I tend to fly pretty fast on my bike. To make it to KB Security that fast, are you sure you aren't literally flying? It's possible. Why don't I give you a ride sometime? Or better yet, how about now? Nah, I'll pass, thanks. Why don't you just tell us where it is and we'll go ourselves? Ha, what a scaredy cat you are, Nick. Mr. Light told us that the location of KB Security. Okay, let's head over there right away. Well, once I get this conversation out of the way. So was it really love at first sight when you first met Mr. Delight? Sight of delight, if it were? Well, maybe not at first sight, but Ronnie saved my life. Saved your life? I was at work one day when 2 robbers suddenly rushed in. Well, I'm not the kind to just curl into a little ball in a corner, so I fought back. Robbers? Yeah, they took me hostage. I was so frightened. They were both carrying those huge knives, and I broke down into tears. Yeah, I would too if I were in that situation. Oh, I think I get it. Did Mr. Delight come running to save you or something? Yes, exactly. I remember he looked so handsome in that guard uniform of his. Now, would you look at that? He went right up to those 2 knife-wielding robbers and screamed in their faces. Please stop it, he screamed. I could see the robbers' faces turn pale. That high-pitched shriek of his does have a surprisingly strong effect on people. Also, is that guy wearing just like pantyhose on his head? Those are some silly-looking burglars. Then, crying and swinging his arms like crazy, he attacked the 2 robbers. All by himself, he came to save me. A total stranger, all by himself. He was so scared that he was crying and shaking, but he still risked his life for me. Wow, that's a great story. Yeah, actually it is. He may not look it, but in a tough situation, there's no one better. That's why I fell in love with him like I did. That's so romantic. I'd fall in love too, I guess. Nick, I hope you'll do the same for me if I ever get taken hostage. Maya, I literally have done that. Maybe not word for word, action for action, but you've been kidnapped and I saved you. With Maya, that possibility always seems to loom in the not so distant future. Next Sunday, AD. Gulp. Okay, well never mind. I was expecting that to be a lot more morose and pragmatic, but that was actually a really nice story. I don't think you're evil, Delight, so I'm okay with thinking you're pretty. All right, now, moving on. We could go there, or we could go to the detention center. Let's go in order. Order of suggested ways of going, I suppose. I already told you it's not a sad, pitiful whine that tapers into silence. Sounds like they're interrogating Mr. Delight right now. Man, we don't have enough time as it is. Oh, well, I guess the police are going crazy just like we are. Yesterday they thought he had just a thief, but now they got a murder case on their hands. I guess you're right. That guard over there looks a bit on edge too. We sometimes talk about that guard over there, but we never know who he is. Come on, we'll just have it come back later. Okay, let's go check out some other place. Well then, to another place that we shall go. Also, hi. Just kidding, I'm back now. How you doing? All right, gotta go. Oh, that's an interesting outline there. So I guess this is where it all went down, huh? The walls in here look thick, just like you'd expect in a CEO's office. What has that got to do with anything? Why would being a CEO give you thick walls? Also, they appear to be made of metal. Yay, it's you guys. Oh, it's Detective Gumshoe. Today was a real train wreck for you guys, huh? Sure was, pal. That prosecutor made real fools out of us. Yeah, I feel for you. Wow, that's not like you at all. And I thought you'd be more like, oh, that was great. You guys got what you deserved, pal. Something to that effect. Do I really sound like that to you, pal? If the gumshoe fits. Womp 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 womp. Well, anyway. The point is, I can tell when someone puts their heart into their jobs. And I can sympathize when things don't go your way. Sometimes, I feel like wrong is the only way things go for us detectives. Wow, I had no idea Detective Gumshoe was such a nice guy. Really? I was always under the impression he was a nice guy. Now, if this little love fest is over, maybe we can start investigating. Investigatorians. Anyway, what happened? Detective Gumshoe, tell us about what you know about the murder. Okay. Thing is, I'm really not supposed to. Hey, come on, what about how we put our hearts into our work? Things are really working against us right now and we need help. Okay, I'll tell you. Just don't start crying on me, okay, pal? Okay, I won't cry on you, pal. I won't cry on your pal. Well, that man's got quite the schnoz. The victim's name is Kane Bullard. He was the CEO of KB Security, a pretty big fella in his own right. Is he now in my list of people? He is not. Also, interesting, age unknown. He's shrouded in mystery. Seems to know me somehow. Well, we've got theories, but we've got no evidence to support them. Pretty big fella in his own right. His corpse was discovered at 9 this morning. His estimated time of death was 1 in the morning on October 12th. Cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. Probably an object in this room. It happened at exactly the same time that Master Mask was stealing the urn. Autopsy! So why did it take almost an entire day to discover the body? There's a good explanation for that one. Bullard's body was stashed away inside that safe, which would explain why the outline is the way that it is. Someone opened the safe and he plopped out. That's morbid. Safe. Well, it is pretty big. Nobody had heard from him, and when they opened the safe this morning, out he came. Oh, so the body fell out. That white string must be the shape from when he fell out. Thank you, Phoenix. I gathered as much. And I think we still need some more information about Mr. Bullard. Maybe you could start by getting the man's name right. He's dead. Then again, we don't know if he was a good guy or not, but still. Factual information. So, what happened to Master Mask? He's at the detention center screaming like a madman. Investigate me again, he keeps yelling. No, I didn't mean him. He's not the real thief anyway, right? Oh, you mean that detective at me? Ho, 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 ho. Oh, that was great. That guy got what he deserved. Ho, ho, ho. Now that's the detective I know and love. Think about it. Adme was always around when a calling card showed up, but he always mysteriously disappeared when the heist took place. I was hiding at the crime scene. Yeah, right. That's the lamest thing I've ever heard. That's how you just knew he was the thief. That would explain how he was able to retrieve the stolen item he keeps bragging about. Yeah, he just did that to make himself look like a great detective, that's all. But there's just one thing I can't figure out about his first heist. His first heist? Yeah, the Tier of a Manon case. There was a witness on that one. A witness? Here, I saved the newspaper clipping. Since the thief is already under arrest, you guys can keep it. Well, don't mind if it does. Hey, this guard here. Haven't I seen him somewhere before? Is that the guard? It's pretty small, so it's hard to see, but now that she mentions it. Interesting. Is it possible that I could actually maybe look at it? Thank you. Or is it just this picture? I guess so. Very well then. Not a lot to go off of, but I guess we'll take what we can get. Whoa, that prosecutor, he steams my biscuits, boy howdy he sure do. I really don't like that guy. The way he used our own evidence to do that to Mr. Delight. Yeah, I think he did it that way just because he knew it'd hurt more. That's what my gut tells me anyway. So who is that Java-addicted masked maniac anyway? Prosecutor Godot? He's quite the enigma, huh? The thing is, pal, I never even heard of the guy before. He just showed up one day at the prosecutor's office. Came out of nowhere. That's right, he said this was his first case as a prosecutor. And it's true, according to the records anyway. But, no way he's an amateur. He's an Iceman in the court. A maverick that gives me goosebumps. Goosebumps? You? Yeah, I knew something was off about him, so I asked around. Nobody would talk to me. They all just turned the other way. Poor Detective Gumshoe. I had no idea you were so unpopular. No, that's not what I meant. That Godot guy acts like he knows me and has a grudge against me. I get the feeling he's hiding some kind of dark secret. That is all too possible. Anyway, let's look at this safe perhaps. Yeah, think about it. A dead guy was laying in here all night. I was in a coffin with a dead guy. Ah. You know, by the way, don't bother asking about fingerprints. There was none. Well, somebody opened this safe on the night of the crime, right? Yeah, and so? Well, if Mr. Bullard's body was hidden in there, it must mean that it was opened by either the killer or the victim, right? Yeah, but at the same time, like, they could be wearing gloves. I mean, that would make the most sense, wouldn't it? Yeah, I guess so. Or they wiped it off, who knows? Ha, ha, ha. Got some bad news for you, pal. Are you ready? Okay, shoot. Opening this baby is no piece of cake. There are only a few people who know how to open this safe, pal. Yeah, and? Everyone that knows how to open this safe had airtight alibis. I checked. Everyone except one, that is. I'm almost afraid to ask. Former security chief, Ron DeLight. Wow, security chief? What? Ron DeLight, he was a security chief? Ron? So he knew how to open the safe, huh? Yeah, sorry for raining on your parade there, pal. I don't think he's sorry about raining on my parade at all, pal. This rope. You think it fell out of the safe when it was opened? No, you colossal dork. I don't think so. So, you mean, yeah, I think this string shows where and how the corpse was lying. You mean the victim? He was killed by being crushed by the safe door? She can't be serious, can she? Why are you such a goober? Check out this big, thick binder here. Leave the heavy lifting to me, Nick. Reading a file isn't exactly back-breaking work. Just a little hard on the eyes. Ah! Whoa, what'd you find out, Nick? This file, it's not about any sort of security operations or anything. This huge file is full of, is all about Master Mask. It's filled with info on him. What? What kind of info? It's filled with incredibly detailed information about his methods and the crime scenes. Hey, Nick, look at the last page. 'Tis a list. Let's see. Theater of Abanon, 100,000. This looks like a list of all the treasures that Master Mask stole. So then 100,000 is the value of the stolen item. I don't know, that number sounds kind of low to me. I think I'd better secretly make a copy of this list. And so I did, yik-ta-ta-ta. Let's take a look here. There's a really, I can't look at the laptop, but I can look at the desk. All right. This must be the CEO's desk. It's a lot simpler than I would have thought. Hey, that looks like a super soft chair. I'ma sit in it. I'ma sit in it. Oh yeah, I'm sitting in it. I feel just like a CEO. Hey, yo, whip me up a cup of some really expensive import tea and some scones. Move it on. I know it's scones. Ah, this is the life. The victim sat in that chair just before he was brutally killed, you know. And thus that is over. Let's see, what about this photo? Wow, look at that huge framed photo. Tall mountains rising majestically against a dark and cloudy sky. There's a title written at the bottom of the photo. The greatest sunrise of my life. This is it? This was his best sunrise? Either this guy didn't get out enough or he had really rotten luck with the weather. Maybe if he had lived a little longer, he would have seen some better days. Also, what's with this super ultra secret button? Ooh, a button. Let's see. Maybe don't go poking giant red buttons. Just an idea. Hey, cut it out. Don't press that. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I never knew Detective Gumshoe could jump like that. What is that button anyway? It's an emergency buzzer. It says it right there on the panel. Oops, you are correct. It's written right there. Like, how many times have I told you to read the instructions first? I will slap you, lady. This alarm's connected to the basement guard room. It's used to summon security up here. Really? Then it's possible on the night of the crime? Oh, so when the CEO was attacked, do you think that maybe he pressed the buzzer? Seems unlikely, seeing as how nobody found him until the morning. Yeah, I thought about that, so I asked around down there, but they said that the buzzer never went off that night. Also, we couldn't find any fingerprints on the buzzer. Mr. Bullard, the victim, wasn't wearing any gloves, by the way, just so you know. I think we'd better go and talk to that guard about this emergency buzzer. Oh, how I'm sure that will go well for me. These look like some kind of bookshelves rolling cabinet hybrid. It's a stepladder. I can't get in between these two shelves. Don't strain yourself trying. Looks like the shelves are controlled by a special panel. And I guess it's one shelf at a time, huh? Looks like they're filled with a bunch of files. Yeah, files filled with data about security jobs they were hired to handle. Be a good night's reading if you've got insomnia. I was hoping for something a little bit more exciting, like UFOs or something. I don't think they'd have that in the security room. Yeah, it's just my personal feelings on the topic. I could be completely off base, but you know. Also, it seems like I might have looked at everything that there is to look at. Alrighty then. I guess we'll go to the security room. Also, there's Larry's coat. So... Wow. This is really something else. For a security guard office, it sure doesn't feel very secure. Yeah, it's, there's definitely some Larryisms going on here. KB security guard. Uh-oh! I just remembered. Larry might be a nigwasa. And so it is he. The guy that is he. So he is here. Yo! How's it hanging, dude? And you got my sweet little Maya with you, too. Hey, Larry. Here I was working my fingers to the bone. And in walks an angel. I've got no problems with the daytime date. It's all good. No, that's not what we're here for. We're investigating the Bullard murder case. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're a lawyer, aren't you? He's so hopelessly clueless. It's downright kind of insulting. Well, if it's about the murder case, boy, have I got some good info for you. Really? What is it? Well, I don't mind sharing with my sweet little Maya. But Nick here is a different story. But Larry, I thought you two were old school buddies. Also, can't throw this out there enough, I made it so you didn't go to prison for murder. That was then and this is now. Well, as much as I don't want to talk to him. So, what's this good info you were talking about, Larry? Hey, I'm a guard, a pro. I can't just give away information for free. You want a bribe? I thought professionals were more, I don't know, honest. Can you talk to him, Maya? Larry, tell us already. What's the good info? Hey, I like that. This kid's got some claws. Okay, you really want to know? Yes, so tell me. Okay, so the thing is, Ron DeLight was an employee here. And naturally, since I'm a pro, I looked into his background. Follow me? Yes, you're a pro. I follow you. Go on. Well, 1 year ago, Ron DeLight was fired. And there was no warning at all. It just happened all of a sudden. I know this is a small company, but I think that was pretty awful. I guess he must have done something bad to have gotten fired like that. Like maybe skipping out of work to go pick up some ladies? I don't friggin' know. I'm Larry. No, that's just you. So, what's it like to be a part-time security guard? Let me tell you, it's tough. Well, you know me. I get by all right, I guess. First, I have to keep my eye on those monitors all the time. Monitors? There are security cameras set in each room around the building. It's really hard. Sometimes I feel like my eyes are gonna fall out. Oh. And if I see something suspicious, I have to contact one of the teams. What teams? Security teams for this company. They're supposedly the best in the business. I can't verify that, though, whatsoever, so I don't know. That could just be what they're telling me. But I'm no amateur either, so if something's small, I don't bother calling them. So in other words, you basically watch TV screens all day. Sounds like a pretty good job. You were in this office when the murder took place, weren't you? Why do you say that? This is just a part-time job for me, and I can't operate the equipment, and I'm dumb. I mean, that's very possibly true for all cases. Even if it is a part-time, and you are dumb, you're still in charge of security here. Hey, give me a break, don't try to pin the whole thing on me. That's not fair, Nick. I don't think you can expect someone like him to take any responsibility for literally anything. Man, my mans wouldn't even take responsibility for a goldfish. Anyway, the point is you were here that night, right? Wow, 2 Cyclops. Impressive. Oh no, I knew something smelled bad, and it was the butts after all. Well, it's like I always say. That was then, and this is now. Okay? Okay. Yeah, we're okay. We're good. We're fine. All right. Looks like I'm gonna have to break a Cyclops after all. Oh, butts and bobkins. All right, fine. Let's give it a try. Here's hoping that I've already got all the informations that I needs. All right. Now, I could just pick that thing specifically, but I would much prefer going, take that! All right. Here's hoping that I got myself some evidence. The night of the crime. On the night of the crime, were you working hard like you were supposed to? Of course I was. Why wouldn't I have been? But didn't you sneak out of work just yesterday to go see Miss Delight? Acken Brackensacken. But that was this is this. Is there any chance that you snuck out of work last night too? Never! I didn't sneak out. I tell you what, I'll even bet you $1. $1? Wow! Now that's confidence. What's with the drenched in the rain puppy look on your face? Do you have any evidence that I left my position, or are you just pulling my chain? The evidence that Larry was not manning his station when the murder happened is... I mean, you did just kind of beeline it for the sake of giving this wallet back, didn't you? This wallet! You know about this, right? I've never seen it before. Liar! You hand-delivered this wallet to Mr. Light just yesterday. I was in the room when you done did it. Give me a break. You can't expect me to remember every little thing that happens. Well, I do expect you to remember something that happened yesterday. Ya dingus. What time was it when you found this wallet? I guess it was around 1 in the morning on the first floor of our company building. Interesting. 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, you did kind of say that, didn't you? That's right. In other words, Larry, at the set time of the murder, you were away from the security guard office. Yeah, but there's nothing you could did. That's something you didn't think about. And what's that? My shift that day didn't start until 10 p.m. The murderer might have snuck in before then. What do you mean by that? If the murderer had snuck in before 10 p.m., then it wasn't my fault. It was the fault of the guy whose shift was before mine. Why do I have the feeling that he still doesn't get the seriousness of this? Listen up, Larry. We know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the killer snuck into the CEO's office after 10 p.m. during your shift, because you told me that was the case, ya dingus. Larry, when you use this key card, does it leave a record? Yeah, it does, but I can't show the record to just anyone, you know. That key card was already made public in the trial today. What? I didn't know that. Any kind of request for info like that is supposed to go through me. Boy, does that sound a bit arrogant coming from a part-time guard. Anyway, according to the data, the door to the CEO's office was opened with this card. Furthermore, it was most definitely used at 1 a.m., the time of the murder. No way! Yes way! Come on now, someone used this to get into the CEO's office. That happened at 1 a.m. on the night of the crime, right in the middle of your shift. Oh, Larry, you can't duck your responsibility this time. No! You are yes, I say! Sheesh. He may have had 2 locks, but those were very easily broken. Now explain your dang self. I knew it, it's all my fault. It's my fault that the boss was killed. My fault! Larry, there was nothing I could do. I have important issues to deal with too, man. What happened that night anyway? Madonna happened. Your Donna? I got a bad feeling about this. It's always gotta be something with this dude. Yeah, my Donna called and said I have to talk to you right away. So I went to see her and he was standing right there next to her. Who was? Her new boyfriend. It was like some horrible joke. Before I knew what was going on, the guy socked me right in the kisser. Normally I'm the one that does the punching, ain't that right, Maya? Yeah, sure. So is that why you left the security guard office? I'm sorry. It's all my fault. How can I ever make up for it, Nick? What can I do? What? He's curled up on the floor crying like a baby. Oh boy. Nick! Is there anything I can do? Anything. Just name it. I'll do whatever I have to make it up for it. I swear I will. Larry. Hey, Nick, as long as he's offering, why don't you show him the evidence we've got? She's right. Maybe we'll get at least one bit of useful information from him. Nick. All right, so I need to show him evidence, apparently. Okay, so... Oh, duh, I remember now. Dup. What? There. Tell me about this buzzer. The buzzer in the CEO's office is directly connected to this room, right? That's right. Just like my heart is connected to yours, Maya. Gross. Go ahead, Maya. Press the buzzer in your heart. I promise I'll come running to your rescue, like the professional guard I am. Wow, that was pretty good. Yeah, thanks. I try. You know what? I'll give him that. He does most certainly try. Do you think you could tell us about the buzzer now? Yes, please. Please tell us. Okay, I guess so. I mean, it's not like I've got any scruples. I guess so. Prepare to be wowed. Oh, okay. Well, you could have just told us then and there, but whatever. I accidentally pressed the buzzer earlier. Yeah, I heard it. So that was you, huh? You're a security guard, aren't you? Why didn't you come to the CEO's office? Well, this is the 3rd floor of the basement. The CEO's office is on the 1st floor. I thought it would be a good idea to adopt a wait-and-see approach. In the off chance that there might have been sexual trouble, I didn't want to get hurt. Plus, there's a police detective here, right? I just didn't think it was necessary. It's as if he was trying to win an award for the laziest person on the planet. That would be very impressive. And an award I feel like I would have at least been in contendership for. Let's get back to talking about the night of the murder, okay? Okay. Is it true that the buzzer didn't go off that night? There must be a record, right? You must have had a look at it, right? Of course I did. And I couldn't possibly have made a mistake either. Do you think you could take just one more look for me? Pretty please? Oh, okay. I just can't say no to you, Maya. And thus, he discovers information. What do you think, Nick? He's probably right. I don't think even Larry could make a mistake like that. What? What is it? What's wrong? Well, if I had to make just a rash, baseless assumption, I think he made a mistake like that. I made a mistake! What? But how? It can't be! It's impossible! Okay, enough already. What about the records? That night, it went off just once, in the morning, at around 1 a.m. 1 a.m.? That's when the moida happened! Really? Are you serious? That's terrible. It can't be. Also, but there was no fingerprints. Buzzer record added to the court record. That's handy dandy. Okay, so do you guys think that there's anything else that I should be doing or something to that effect? I'm not 100% sure. Well, failing that, I would like to take a look at this giant honking piece of paper in the background. Something's written on this poster in fine print. A guard's 5 commandments. Wow, this sounds serious. Let's see what it says. Number 1, obey thy superior. 2, respect thy superior. 3, smile at thy superior. 4, salute thy superior. 5, buy donuts for thy superior upon command. It's signed Wendy Oldbag, head supervisor. She's one tough old bird, let me tell you. Cross her and you can come face to face with her real genuine ray gun. She still has that? Yeah, sounds scary, all right. A septuagenarian with a ray gun. That is obviously a toy. Now, fortunately, she's on vacation. That's why I'm so relaxed right now. Oh, so I don't actually have to talk to her. That's good news. Is that lunch? That's my partner seat. Your partner? Well, that's what I call her. She's my superior, actually. Kind of weird old lady. Oh. There's tea spilled all over that machine, you know. Oh, don't worry about it. Just the other day, I spilled some chocolate milk on mine. I got myself some chalky milk. Still works fine, more or less. I really know how to build them, I guess. All right, fair enough. But how about that chalky milk? Okay, so we can't talk about that. We have to talk about the screens. Lame. Those screens there show what's going on all over the building, everywhere. And it's my job to keep a steady eye on them. All of them. I wouldn't sound so smug if I were you, considering how bad at your job you are. You're bad at every job you have. Can you watch regular TV on these too? If anyone would sit here and watch TV instead of working, it's Larry. Hey, Maya, I'm a pro, okay? Besides, you can't get regular TV on it. And how do you know that, Larry? Because that was my first bit of investigation, if you know what I mean. I know what you're thinking. It was a professional investigation, all right? Masterfully done for the purposes of lazing about. Hey, Larry, that's your jacket, isn't it? That's right. Did you know you hung it right on top of some kind of lever? Yeah, sure. I was told to never, ever touch that lever. She scowled and huffed at me. Something terrible will happen if you do. Got a greenhorn? So why hang your jacket on such an important lever? Because it got me curious. If the jacket's weight pulls the lever down, that's what they call an accident. Doesn't that suspense just kill you? Don't you want to know what'll happen? Huh? Larry is a very weird man. And I say that as somebody who's played, who's playing his third Ace Attorney game and has met a lot of weird people. Larry is weird. It's true. It's killing me too. What about you, Nick? Yeah, but for a different reason. Mostly just having me question the company I keep. That's my workstation. Pretty cool, huh? I keep a steady eye on the monitors and use that mic for communication. Look at all this equipment. Must be hard to operate. Nah, no biggie. I think there's an instruction manual somewhere in this room. Somewhere? Instruction manual? What are you gonna do in an emergency? Well, I guess I'd start by calmly looking for the instruction manual. During that time, my partner, the old lady, would calmly look for her reading glasses. That's what us security professionals call teamwork. Even my and Pearls could run this place better. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Stop reading my brainwaves, woman! Why is that a thing that you can do? It's always her that does it too, so I can only assume she's got brain powers. Crazy lady brain powers. All right, well, seems as if we've done just about anything we can. So let's look ourselves right on over here to Lordly Taylor's. The Treasures of Kurain exhibit is all ruined now. Maya, I'm sorry, it's just so sad. This is our big chance for everyone to learn about spirit channeling. We can't just go to a reporter and have them videotape us doing it and have this unbelievable information made public to the rest of the world. I mean, that would just be silly. We need a museum to do that. Maybe I can cheer her up somehow. Well, now that we've got the sacred urn back, maybe they can reopen it. Really? Sure, maybe we can label it the Urn of Master Mask's Desires. That'd probably attract a lot of attention. Whoa. Whoa, whoa! That's brilliant, Nick! We can clean up, be filthy rich. Woo! Wow, that was surprisingly easy. And yet you still had the pace of mind to actually go out of your way to try and make her feel better. Because Phoenix is a good guy.